Alice Paquette live from Media Studies News. I'm checking in today with the esteemed movie maker and production designer Brooke Miller about her new film. Tell us, Brooke, how does Breakpoint engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real media text?
Thank you, Alice, and everyone over there at Media Studies News for having me on today to discuss my brand new film, Breakpoint. What an incredible question, and it's actually one that I've been asked quite frequently in interviews, but haven't exactly answered until today. For those of you who don't know, my name is Brooke Miller, and today I will be answering a question regarding my new film, Breakpoint. So at its core, Breakpoint is a story about friendship, ambition, and tough choices. Things that almost everyone in our audience can relate to, whether they play sports or not. While tennis is the backdrop, the film is really about the emotional struggles of not only growing up, but also realizing that sometimes the people we love the most are the ones who we have to leave behind. This theme resonates with audiences because it mirrors real life experiences, friendships changing, the pressures to succeed, and the difficult balance between loyalty and personal growth. One of the ways Breakpoint engages with our audience is through its emotional realism. Instead of following a traditional feel-good sports narrative, we focus on the inner conflicts of our characters. The film doesn't provide easy answers. It presents a situation that many people have faced in some form. What do you do when your dream is pulling you in one direction, but your heart is pulling you in another? When you have created such a deep bond for so many years with a person you love, and you want to stay loyal to that person, but you know in your mind what is best for you. By portraying these struggles, honestly, Breakpoint encourages audiences to connect with the characters on a very personal level. They might see themselves as the weaker player, feeling left behind, or as the stronger player, struggling with guilt for moving forward. Visually, Breakpoint is designed to immerse audiences in the sport itself. We use dynamic, up-close cinematography during tennis matches to capture the intensity of a real tennis match, not just physically, but emotionally. Moments of silence, slow-motion shots, and lingering close-ups on expressions help convey what words sometimes can't. These shots help you see exactly what our players are feeling and why, without having to use any dialogue. This style keeps audiences engaged, making them feel like they're right there on the court with our characters. Beyond the film itself, Breakpoint would engage audiences through digital media and social platforms. We use social media campaigns to spark conversations about themes like sports, pressure, mental health, and the challenges of growing up from close friends. Behind the scenes content, interviews with the cast, and discussions about the real life emotions behind the story would help connect the audience to the film on a deeper level. By sharing personal stories and inviting people to reflect on their own experiences, Breakpoint becomes more than just a movie. It becomes a conversation. We, as a cast, love to hear our audience's input and how they can deeply relate to our film, which is why on our social media posts, we love to leave open-ended dialogue in our comments. We respond. We love to hear what our audience has to say. In terms of distribution, Breakpoint would be best suited for streaming platforms and film festivals, as it is a smaller film. As an independent sports drama, it would thrive in spaces that highlight character-driven storytelling, such as Sundance or TIFF. Streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Hulu would also be ideal, as they attract audiences looking for compelling emotional stories outside of mainstream blockbuster releases. We are hoping that our audience is younger people, preferably younger athletes who can relate to our film. And we know that a lot of them use streaming platforms such as Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. So we really want to get our film out there on these platforms. Social media marketing targeted trailers, and influencer partnerships with athletes and mental health advocates could help expand the film's reach beyond just sports fans, bringing in viewers who connect with its themes of personal growth and emotional struggles. Our film is not just for young athletes who can relate. We have so many teenagers and young adults who can relate to the emotional struggle of growing up and changing. Every child, every young adult is evolving constantly, and we see this portrayed through Breakpoint. Ultimately, Breakpoint engages audiences by telling a deeply human story that goes far beyond the sport. It is not just about tennis, it is about the emotions that come with growing up, making very difficult choices, and learning when to hold on and when to let go. And that is something that everyone can relate to. Thank you so much for having me on.